So, welcome peeps and freaks, ladies and gents, to another Hearthstone game, and welcome to the Journey to Un'Goro expansion. The first deck that I guess I want to show you from this new expansion that I've been mucking around with quite a bit is Taunt Warrior. The one that has a legendary Fire Plume's Heart, and then when you complete the quest, then you get a weapon, and then when you play the weapon, it sort of turns into like Ragnaros' hero power, where you deal 8 damage to a random enemy. It's actually been working out surprisingly well. Get rid of this 3-drop. It's sort of weird because we want to play this on turn 2. Maybe want to coin a turn 3 out. Let's just keep it. Sometimes it's better to keep lower minions as well in this sort of opening hand. But yeah, it's really quite interesting. This deck I didn't think would work out that well, but it has a surprising amount of comeback potential with things like Tar Lord and Tar Creeper, that when the opponent gets their turn, you manage to then get these things up to like 4 attack, 7 attack and stuff like that. But yeah, been on a pretty decent win streak with it at the moment, and I mean it is only the start of the expansion. People are still learning how to play different decks and things like that, but it's been surprisingly good so far, so we'll keep at it and see how it goes here. So we are going to coin out the Tar Creeper, I think, here. Trades nice into this on his turn. Draw our patches, unfortunately, don't get that with the ends off now. Doesn't really matter too much though. I have drawn the patches a few times with this deck and still won like a fair amount of games even after drawing the patches, just because sometimes it can be used to activate Execute or Sleep with the Fishes, things like that. So when versing this sort of rogue deck, the things you got to look for is obviously the thing they bounced back. If they ever leave that on the board, you have to kill that instantly. That's one thing, and also all 1-drops and 2-drops that have 1 health. Also try and kill them instantly with some sort of whirlwind effect, or yeah, just, I mean the best thing to do is clear their board, but if you want to leave something on their board and you don't really have an option, then the best thing to do is leave like one of these minions that want to bounce something back, like Youthful Brewmaster or Gadgets and Ferryman, things like that. It's better to get rid of these 1-drops so we can't get this quest done really quickly. Because most of the time when I verse a rogue with this deck, they do finish the quest, but at that point, they've either got too low on health, so they can't really come back from it, or they're out of cards, and they can only play 1 5-drop at a time, and with your hero power, you end up just beating them anyway. So what did he bounce back? The Wisp. He wanted to bounce back the Wisp. So I'm basically going to go off what I said before, and I want to remove as many 1-drops as possible. If he doesn't draw another Wisp, if he doesn't draw any Shadow Steps, if he doesn't draw any Youthful Brews or anything like that, then this is just going to be sitting in his hand. He won't be able to play it. He's going to be stuck on 1 card plus 1 that he got from me. So it might be a little bit better to clear this now. And like I said before, we're just going to save the patches to activate maybe Sleep with the Fishes or Execute or something like that if we draw into those cards. Just doing one of the face isn't really going to do much now. So this is fine. So yeah, we can actually use our patches now to clear this. So we take a little bit less damage. That's fine. Or we could just play our Bloodhoof Brave. This deals with the board pretty well right now. So we don't necessarily have to play this. We can save this and play this next turn. But our curves doesn't really line up that well. It's better to play this and this hero power. And we did just drop Sleep with the Fishes, so patches might actually come in handy then. Let's just play this, see how he gets through it. If these are synergistic bounce back spells like Shadow Step, things like that, then he might actually find it pretty hard to remove this 2/6 now. Okay, so there's a Shadow Step. So he needs to play it, what, 2 more times? So he's got it. Now, okay, so what's this? A Youthful Brew, maybe a second Shadow Step? Wow, so lucky for him. So he's going to play this for 5 mana. Then he's going to hit, he's going to trade 1 in, then hit with his weapon. So we'll have a 5/3 and 2 5/5s. So it's a little bit awkward for us. But Sleep with the Fishes and our hero power along with patches does kill 2 of them. Okay, so it might actually be better to just play Ravaging Ghoul, Sleep with the Fishes now, because that way I can use my hero power, clear 1. He's only got a 5/4 then. Oh, sorry, it'll be a 5/1, and then we can always clear it with patches later if he clears this with a spell. So I think that's definitely the best move here. Do it like this. Do we want to clear the Wisp? I'll probably just clear this in case he gets another bounce back and he can't freeze anything. So this is better in this situation. Now the same situation as I was talking about before, the way you beat Rogue now is them not drawing into any card draw or anything like that. Just as I say that, he gets Mimic Pod. Oh well. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy. So now we're just going to be taunting up like hell, hopefully trying to get some... Yeah, that's a bit unlucky. So he's got two Youthful Brew. So he's got another Youthful Brew in the hand, obviously. Another Brawl. Not that great, I guess. This is going to have to come down, I guess, optimally looking for a Tar Lord or Dark Creeper, because they line up nice with our curve. Sunwalker's not that good because he just hits it down anyway. But it's like the only one that does enough damage to the 5/5 so that we can run our patches or weapon in to kill it afterwards. Although we sort of have to take note of our health here. I think Ali Armorsmith. Okay, so I think the only thing we can really do here is hope he just drops his hand. And then we want to play patches into Brawl. And then hopefully... Hopefully he plays this again straight away, because we want to try and get as much value as we can from our brawls. He probably does as well, because he wants to go for lethal. Okay, so it's not worth trading first. Like I was thinking maybe trade, then if that wins we could always patches and hero power after the brawl to kill it. But having the 3/3 in the brawl is just as good, right? Just gives us a better chance for the 3/3 to live. Probably worth to play the patches as well. But then we have a 40% chance to win the brawl. Yeah, we'll just play it and see how it works out. Ah, I forgot to attack. Doesn't matter though. 1 damage isn't really relevant here. Ah, so we lost it. I think that's game or pretty close. I can't play both these next turn. I can't play Brawl and a Bloodhoof Brave. So the only way I sort of come back maybe is if he gets some dud draws. Okay, so we knew that was a... So now we have to get a 3-drop Taunt or Dirty Rat. It's also good. 3-drop Taunt, okay. Now it's too risky to go for this and this. We're on turn 8, next turn 9, we can play both these together. So our play is definitely this one, and then we play our Tar Creeper. So this is fine. We'll play both these next turn. This will give us a little bit of armor, but honestly we're looking for our executes I guess now.
Drink with me, friend.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot he got the other one off Mimic Pod. So we actually had another one now to spare. And Zoss first mate, not what we want to see. We're just going to plump these guys down. So we need him to draw pretty badly here, and then we need to get a taunt and use our hero power and hit something that's not his face. Preferably hit the thing with most health. Yeah, this was a pretty bad draw here. Honestly, the patches and Zoth's first mate in this deck is... I don't know, it's debatable whether you should run that in this deck. Obviously, this is just like the first or second day, still experimenting with a lot of things. I'm not 100% sure about the patches, but if you're coming against a really aggressive deck, the patches can come really in handy, honestly. We can't actually trade this in yet. That's good. Okay, couldn't combo it, so that's really good for us. Finally, he doesn't get to bounce something back. The problem that we kept having was he kept healing everything by bouncing it back and then playing it again. Okay, so this is a really, really good draw. Obviously, we can't hit first, but we need to remove this, so then he has to hero power and then double trade into our Tar Lord. He might not even trade, because then he still has to finish this off with something. But we do get our hero power now. We can't use it, but we do get it. Well, we can use the weapon, but there's no point. We want a hero power. And it's also really good to note that when we use this quest thing, our hero power goes away, so we can't heal up anymore. So we have to do this first, and then we go down to 1 after hitting in, then we go up to 3. So this has to be done. do this. Hero power, and we just play this, right? There's no point in holding on to it. We're going to be eventually playing this weapon anyway. Now the only way we win this is just by our hero power and just hitting perfect things and him getting a few dud draws. So far this game I think he's had unbelievable draws. That's sort of what's stopped us here.
I hope you like my
Oh, another crazy draw. So now it's interesting, because I have a 1 in 5 to win the game here. Now I have a 1 in 3 to win the game here. That was probably not a good play from him. I think that's automatic lethal for me, right? Hit in here after using this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's exact the amount of damage that we need, right? So I hero power first, hit this in, hit the 1/1 in, play Sleep with the Fishes, play this. Can't go face anymore, but it doesn't matter because we have the hero power. Game. Whoa, that was a really close game. But there you go, guys. Like, sometimes you get really, really close games with this deck, but it turns out to actually flip in your favor somewhere along the lines. The good thing as well is you don't really have to run too much late game, because when you flip your hero power over, obviously doing 8 damage to a random enemy each turn is enough late game that you need. You just need to make sure you're at enough health at that point to be able to make it through. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this deck. I'm going to be bringing out a lot of new cool decks, hopefully, that I can sort of come up with or find in the next couple of days or weeks. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, help me out a lot. And if you want to see more content like this, then feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching.